Comix Watch. Comix Watch. Comix Watch.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Memories so treacherous. One moment you're lost in a carnival's lights, with a poignant child aroma, the flashing neons of puberty, all that sentimental candy floss. The next, it leads you somewhere you don't want to go, somewhere dark and cold, filled with the damp, ambiguous aromas of shapes of things you thought were forgotten. Memories can be vile, repulsive little brutes, like children, I suppose. But can we live without them? Memories are what reason is based upon. If we can't free them, we deny reason itself. Although, why not? We're not contractually tied down to rationality. There is no sanity clause. So, when you find yourself locked into an unpleasant train of thought, heading for places in your past where the screaming is unbearable, remember, there's always madness. Madness is the emergency exit. So you can step aside, close the door out of those dreadful thoughts that happened. You can lock them away forever. All right, now that I've blown everyone's eardrums out, happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Ow!
I warned you!
You a-hole!
I warned you, you mother ducker.
How you doing, Nick? That's a real handsome guy right there in the chat, by the way.
I don't know. I hear he has bad taste in chips.
So what are we talking about this time, you old fart?
Oh God. So we are doing the old reliable Batman. We were gonna do Long Halloween. The library was taking a little bit too long to get the book to me, so we had to come with something better. So we thought we'd talk about Batman's horror roots, and we asked the question: is Batman a horror comic? Jared, you start, sir.
Well, technically, yes, because have you seen the villains he fights, like Ra's al Ghul, which you can kind of say is a zombie, Solomon Grundy, Born on a Monday, Scarecrow, obviously, a lot of even the Joker, because a lot of Batman's villains revolve around some type of horror theme. Or like some very cracked it's been said that like all the villains are just cracked mirror versions of a particular aspect of Batman's personality.
I've said something similar, so I guess they're right.
Yes, they are. I've said it too, so they must be double right because I am the Lord of Comics.
Well, you know what they say: great minds think alike.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think there's no denying he has horror roots, but is Batman a horror comic? That's the question we have here today. And so yeah, because like if you look throughout history, especially his adaptations, they always seem to have some sort of horror tinge. Like Batman '89 was predicated on German expressionism, and you got like,
actually, I have an item to show off.
Oh, Jared's going to his wall. Uh-oh.
So this book called Batman Gotham After Midnight is actually written by a big horror guy, and it has a forward by John Carpenter.
Oh.
So yeah, they've done a lot of stories where like Batman is like using like because when you think about it, the element that Batman uses and why a yellow lantern ring always goes to him is because it's all about instilling fear in people. And honestly, what's the way to instill fear in people? Horror. That's what those movies do.
Mr. Wayne, I've seen you taking our lessons of theatricality a bit literally.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite lines. He goes, well, you took our lesson about theatricality a bit literally.
Because you got to remember, that's the first time he's seen him in a long
I can't
time.
I can't be two of your pawns. As you wish. And then like 5 more drop down. I love that. I love that movie so much. Hey, what's up, Brown?
Hey, Brown Destroyer, how you doing, buddy?
But I think the reason why, and again, Nick, this goes back to what we've talked about many times on my show, on your show. One of the reasons why Batman has so many movies and adaptations is because he's a relatively easy character for you to put practically any story in there, especially horror. You can make the argument that technically the Arkham Asylum is a horror game.
Yeah, I mean the comic that it's based off of is definitely horror.
That it's either horror or just Grant Morrison.
We really need to review Arkham Asylum someday.
That's a good one. And,
Batman Red Rain.
The Batman Who Laughs.
And, you know, I mean, they kind of overdid it, but, you know, it still works.
Still kind of in there. You can even make the argument that the Batman, the Killing Joke movie was a horror-able movie. Oh, that's a good question. Arkham City, honestly, because while I at first liked the armored up look in Night, I kind of prefer the more classic look on Batman.
So Jared. Okay, yeah, Arkham City is peak, I would say. So Jared, are you familiar with like the Joker's origins and inspirations?
The inspiration behind the character?
Yeah, he's based off of a. Okay, I'm going to show you something, and everything's going to make sense. Okay.
That's the first time you've ever said that to me.
Oh, fluff off.
Okay, it all makes sense.
So the Joker is heavily based off of a character called the Man Who Laughs. Get it? The Batman Who Laughs?
And I take it a more jacked version would be the Man Who Lifts, like Absolute Batman.
All those bloody push-ups, you can't lift the bloody log.
Exactly. That's kind of cool.
But yeah, you take one look at this picture and be like, yeah.
That's the Joker right there. That is the Joker. I mean, that's what Bob Kane and Bill Finger were inspired by, you know, as they had to put in Bill Finger, because more likely Bill Finger was behind all that stuff.
Okay, a little bit of a tangent. I'm glad that Bill Finger is getting his credit, but it still really ticks me off every time I see it with Bill Finger. It's like they had to get in there little FU.
Yeah, I do like how in the DC documentary that they put out on Max, they did acknowledge the whole effed up nature of Bob Kane getting sole creator credit.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love the story of Steranko just slapping him.
Oh, Bobby boy!
I just love that. That was so good. I love Steranko.
Oh, did you ever tell the stories of Stan Lee about how he couldn't stand Bob Kane?
Really, he couldn't, huh?
Stan Lee would tell stories because I think Stan Lee is probably about on the same level or maybe a little bit higher than Bob Kane.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys seen in the 1800s a guy used to be a vigilante in New York? The guy was an inspiration of Batman. Oh, interesting. But I remember this one funny thing, and they kind of played a clip of it in the DC documentary, but you had Steranko going, yes, yes, Bob Kane, tell us, how did you come up with Batman? and that's when he was like cornered, and he's like, okay. And I like how even after he had admitted that Bill Finger invented a lot of those characters, he's still on his tombstone, it says the man who invented Batman. And I'm like, you a-hole. But anyway, back to this, because we could talk about that for years.
We need to crowdfund a little sign to put next to Bill Finger's headstone, the real man who created Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little mini tombstone, have it be in like the shape of a bat or something.
Thank you, Zack Snyder, for putting his name on there. Ha ha!
Yeah, I think it was BVS. That was the first one that had that.
Yep, and it's a Batman movie. But that is really cool. But the thing about it with like a lot of these villains is unless of course you have like some writers that just want a paycheck. You can tell that the difference between the two, because even when you look at like because here's the remarkable thing about the Batman rogues, most of them, what I'm about to say, most of them, they're all as grounded as Batman is.
See, the difference between a good Batman writer and a bad Batman writer is he keeps the mask on because it's better that way.
Frank Miller is not a bad Batman writer. He just had some very complicated books later.
Oh, Brown. I would be happy to look up the picture. I just have no idea who he is. So if you have a name of the person, I'll look it up. I'll tell you that.
But yeah, it's like that's the thing. It's like when you look at a lot of the Batman villains, they use like hallucinogens or technology for their powers, or like performance enhancing drugs in the case of Slade and Bane.
Winners don't use drugs. No, villains do.
Or super soldiers.
Everything about you came out of the bottle.
Yeah, exactly. And then he proceeds to lift Mjolnir. But see, that was but that's the interesting thing there is like, you look at the villains again, short of Ra's al Ghul, because there's no Jews that can bring you back to life moderately sane. But it's like when you look at those villains, a lot of them are like villains that relatively could exist today. It's almost like when they were inventing these villains, they were like, okay, here's a book of serial killers. Okay, Batman villain.
Yeah, there, like, this is what I love about like Batman is there's a certain like mental health aspect to a lot of his rogues. They're all kind of like a psychological kind of thing. Like I think some people did try to like assign certain, like obviously Two-Face is a multiple disassociated. Sorry, I had to do the modern term for it. But I do love how there's always a psychological. Joker is probably, I don't know. I don't want to do that. But like Mad Hatter is a really interesting villain. Like I always love how they took the Alice in Wonderland character and they made it scary.
Yeah, exactly. Particularly when you have like the mind control element, or like, let's see, who do I think is the scariest Batman villain? That's a good question. But they did have, and they actually made these villains relatively like understandable or relatable in the case of Freeze, because and this was more in BTAS, but it was like, okay, so he just wants to save his wife. Okay, he's driven to desperation.
Yeah, I think there can be a lot of parallels done between Doc Ock and Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is Doc Ock, but without the crushing ego.
If we're talking about movie Doc Ock, because I don't think Doc Ock in the comics is the way he was in the Sam Raimi films.
Fair. God, Alfred Molina just ruined an entire generation of Spider-Man fans. I swear.
Yeah, exactly. But the other thing on there is like when you look at Batman.
Wait.
What?
I'm gonna look this up, Jared. You keep talking.
Yeah, but it's when you look at like the Batman villain that I think exemplifies this the best. And honestly, I gotta give this. Matt Reeves actually did something pretty cool with this, the Riddler, because he showed that you can have a Riddler character. He's Jigsaw. That's who the Riddler is, Jigsaw. Because he has like all these little trap and puzzle boxes that you have to like complete challenges in order to unlock. And that leads to, there you go, right there.
So apparently the Wayne Bruce stuff is fake.
Okay. As far as we know, it's a government cover-up.
Oh God. Yeah, because I'm sorry. This is very clearly Wayne Bruce. The guy's wearing a bat cowl. Like this just seems too good to be true. But here we go. Yeah.
I see it. I see a picture.
I mean, it looks good.
It looks good, but that's fake.
I get the whole thing. Remember when I showed you the Gotham 1919 to 2020 1929 photos.
1919 to 2020. That's almost as old as you are. I'm sorry, but yeah, I remember you showed me that, and that's actually really cool how they like if these Batman characters existed back then.
Yeah, it looked really sweet, honestly.
Yeah, but so
but yeah,
go ahead.
Like every iteration of Batman, especially on film, has taken some horror stuff. Like even Snyder.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nightmare Timeline.
Nightmare Timeline, obviously, but or the Batman, I think definitely was aping on, I think, a more modern version of like the horror stuff. But
the scene in BVS that always gets me a horror feel is when those cops are like clearing that building. He turns around and he's just hanging there like a xenomorph.
Yeah, that definitely has a bit of a found footage feel to it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, oh god. See, here's the thing. A lot of those movies make you feel scared of Batman. So I'm like, okay, now I feel bad for all the henchmen he's being to a pulp.
What I love about the scene is it clearly puts you in the perspective of the cop. Like, what it would be a cop to like see the aftermath of Batman, and you shine your flashlight, Batman's just hanging there.
And the music too, it's got that horror movie feel, and I'm like, oh no, that's scary. Particularly after this Batman has branded a criminal.
Yeah, I also love how he's like shooting him and he's like climbing on the walls. It's like,
or like as you're walking up, speaking of the aftermath, all you see is like a batarang in the wall. And Snyder said essentially what he wanted to do is make it so that's his calling card. That's how you know he's been there.
I mean, that explains how someone from Philadelphia can just have a batarang.
Exactly. Or because if you remember, when he got the kryptonite from Lex, he left a batarang in the box. Or like, speaking of horror, this was in the Ultimate Edition on the security camera footage when one of the Lex guards is like patrolling. Batman just drops down, grabs him, and goes right back up. I'm like, oh god.
He was quite the also. I just love I love the warehouse scene because it's straight out the Arkham game.
That is essentially the Arkham verse right there. I'm like, okay, he's like deflecting. You know what someone did? You know that like flash that goes above an enemy's head in the Arkham games and they're about to attack. Someone took that and put it on all the criminals' heads in that scene before they hit attack.
Oh wow!
And that is why. When I play Arkham Knight, I only use the BVS suit because then every fight is the warehouse fight. It doesn't hurt that if you upgrade the disruptor enough, if they try to use their guns, they explode.
Oh god! So I think Aquaman's actually probably older, like at least 20 years old by the time the 60s came about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and you can make the argument also that Aquaman was based on Tarzan.
The Jason Momoa version was.
He's Tarzan of the sea.
I don't know quite about that, but I'm
just saying, dude.
But yeah, definitely I think also Batman was based off of literal Batman is kind of basically a combination of the Shadow, and there's also a character called the Bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And that was one of the films that even the DC documentary, Kane, basically pointed to his inspiration. And when you look at the original suit for Batman, like the original design, what a weenie. That's like the original Wolverine suit.
The original Batman suit?
Well, it was the one that Kane brought to pitch to DC. It's just basically a dude in a cape.
I'm looking it up now. Holy crap, is it bad?
Yeah, I know. And you know it's bad? Yeah, exactly. When the actual, when DC even says, maybe you should get an actual artist.
Yeah. I will say this like fair interpretation, that's not bad.
I'm waiting. Honestly, in the next Arkham Batman game, can we get that as a skin, as like an homage? That would be interesting. Superman is based on Apollo. Oh, the god. Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Isn't Apollo the messenger of the gods?
No, that's Hermes. Apollo's the god of the sun.
Okay.
Yeah, again, there's this great scene in Superman Wonder Woman where Apollo blasts Superman with sunlight, and then Superman goes,
Oh,
and then Superman goes, "You don't know that much about me, do you?"
Jared, what do you think about this?
Okay, that's probably how the Tim Drake suits ended up looking like that. They're like, oh, okay, let's just use that design, except without the bat wings.
They made it work.
They made it work, but yeah, without it, because here's the thing. Here's the problem with the original Batman suit, the Bat-Man suit. There's no logo.
Yeah, I like this version of it. This is a fan where they definitely made it work.
Yeah, and they even added some black on there, but it's just a red suit with some bat wings. There's no logo. Because honestly, at this point, the superhero needs a logo. And then, Bill Finger came in and refined the suit, and then look at what we have now.
Yeah, like because the original Batman suit's actually it's actually pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. And you can use it in Arkham Knight, and it even has the purple gloves. I love that.
Nice. Superman is kind of a combination of Apollo and also Doc Savage.
This is a reprint. I just want to be clear on that. But I'm just holding that up. In Absolute Wonder Woman, didn't Apollo? Yes, he did.
Jared, that's a really good cover. It would be really nice if a comic creator did a tribute cover.
Yeah, I know. Maybe one that's as old as that comic is.
The comic's so young it hasn't even been finished yet, Jared.
No, I mean as the cover that you're trying to homage.
Perhaps.
Maybe. But yeah, so that's the interesting point there with Batman. I mean, because here's the thing, in the same way that you can like put him in a variety of like circumstances and iterations, you could do the same thing with his rogues. I mean, how with the Penguin, they made him a Penguin Man in one of the movies, or in the Batman, they turned the Riddler into Jigsaw.
Oh, in the Batman, they turned him into a mixture of Jigsaw, Zodiac Killer, Saw. Yeah, I could see that, but they kind of made him like modern internet serial killer. There's a very mixture of things.
Yeah, but my point is, you could take a lot of these Batman villains and like shape them into stuff that fits the times.
Hey, Jared, I need you to hold that Batman cover up for me, please.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So I've said this before, but yes, we are definitely homaging Batman 27 with the screenshot covers. Wanted to kind of point it out.
First off, it's not Batman 27, it's Detective 27.
Yes, sir.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it, that 26 issues of Detective Comics came before Batman.
I mean, it wouldn't be the last time they did something like that. Remember, there was 14 issues of Amazing. Imagine you don't really know much, like you know a little bit about comics, and you find Amazing Fantasy number 3. You think, holy crap, I'm gonna be rich, and then no one cares.
Well, also, here's the other thing that you got that's kind of funny. Wonder Woman showed up in the 8th issue of All-Star Comics. And she was a backup feature in the 8th issue of All-Star Comics. She's not even on the cover. First appearance of Wonder Woman.
That happened a lot in that era, and even in the Marvel era. I think a lot of some of the Marvel, like Thor, premiere in some other comics.
But even, by the way, so there's a documentary on Disney Plus about Stan Lee. Oh, it's kind of cool. He goes into like with Spider-Man because he pitched it. It got rejected. Then he figured, I'm doing Amazing Fantasy. The book is going to get canceled. So why do they care if I put the character in there? Mm-hmm. So he put it in, and then they go, hey, Stan, remember that Spider-Man character you pitched to us? He should get his own series. What do you think?
Because the thing is, the way the sales worked is he didn't know the full sales numbers until 6 months later.
Mm-hmm. But I will say, I love this recreation because first off, it's in the shiny print, but they actually make the paper look like the original comic.
Also, the other thing I like is that in magazine format?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, which is...
I've been
Nice.
getting a lot of these reprints, by the way. I know they're not the actual thing, but I just kind of because
They're facsimile, if you will.
yeah, because I got the one for the first appearance of Hal Jordan as well. As a Green Lantern fan, I can't not have this. But it's like that way I can have these, but not have to spend millions of dollars.
All right, I gotta go get my comics. You bastard.
Nick has got to grab his toys.
Oh, if you want me to grab my toys,
Where do you get all these wonderful toys?
Oh, that reminds me. It's like I have a buddy of mine. He always has like the coolest gadgets, and I say that to him sometimes.
Your son, wait, your friend is Batman.
Oh God,
You're gonna find out your friend is Batman this entire time.
I'm gonna tell him that he's gonna have a good laugh.
Wait. Does that mean that? Wait, what's the name of Batman's friend? Nick Gibson. That's the name of Batman's friend, Nick Gibson. No, does that mean you're Lucius Fox? No, does that make
Well-
you... Wait, Nick. You are old, so I guess that makes you Alfred Pennyworth. Well, the thing about it, Nick, if you're Alfred, you shot a predator with an elephant gun.
I only have one facsimile edition. I need to get more though.
Those are great. They have a few of them of like Teen Titans, of the George Perez Teen Titans run and everything. I think what's another one I have? I think I have Action Comics 1, I want to say.
Oh, dude, you need that. Yeah, you gotta have Action Comics.
I do have that I got last time. So DC did a facsimile edition of the first issue of Hush, but they screwed up. But on the issue that I got, they had to recall it. I didn't send it back because they messed up the page order.
Oh God.
Yeah, so I got that. I do have the first appearance of a facsimile of Batman 1. So I had to get this, but I'm gonna the other ones I want are Sensation Comics 8, first appearance of Wonder Woman, and Action. And I think I have Action 1, or I may have that in a trade, but I need a facsimile for Action 1.
Let me ask you this, Jared. So since you do like comics, what actual comic books do you want to own? Like not facsimile, but just real comics.
Well, I have the first one that would be on my list, and that's Superman Wonder Woman #1, signed by Charles Soule. But you mean which ones? If I like, which actual comics would I like to own?
Yeah, both realistic and pie in the sky. Because I know
Pie in the Sky is Flash of Two Worlds, Flash 1, 2, 3. I do have a facsimile of that, but I would like a regular version. Pie in the Sky Action Comics #1.
You can hit up Nicolas Cage, I'm sure.
Yeah, if I have to pick a realistic one, maybe the first George Perez Wonder Woman.
What honestly, I could see you owning the first appearance of Wonder Woman because I feel like it's valuable, but not like, oh my God, you have to mortgage 3 houses to get it.
Let me see what's the price for All-Star 8.
I feel like that one's a little bit more obtainable.
Price. Let me see that.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll say some
$937,000.
I mean, that's a lot better than $15 million.
Yeah, the record sale is $936,000. Yeah, I'm not purchasing that. That's another pie in the sky.
Well, who knows? Maybe if it gets really valuable, you can do that. Yeah,
let me put it this way: if I become rich off of Athena, yeah, you better believe I'm buying that.
Pie in the Sky, Detective Comics, 27, whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Nicolas Cage doing Superman. What do you think? I think for a Tim Burton Superman movie, I think he would have been good.
No, Spider-Man. I saw the pictures. They're all over the internet. They're not really much to go off of because they're going to color grade it to heck. But hey.
It looks not bad. Looks not bad.
Yeah, well, let's see how it looks when it's finished. I'm sure it's probably gonna be fine. Detective Comics, New Teen Titans #1. That's actually pretty affordable. That's like $40-$50.
That one I think you can get. Maybe if I could get the first appearance of Hal Jordan.
The thing about Teen Titans is It's not the first issue that's valuable. It's the second issue that's really expensive.
Why is that Slade? I could tell why. I could tell why.
Yeah.
Here's I actually do have a first appearance issue, an actual issue, and not a facsimile. I'll go get it.
I'll say another realistic one is Nightwing #1, and I'm going to eventually get that signed by Scott McDaniel and Chuck Dixon. Let's see here.
Oh, I would also like Justice League.
Oh, okay. We got you, buddy.
I would also like the first appearance of the Justice League.
Also, I'll say this might be a little more expensive, but the issue of the Phoenix Saga where the cover she's bursting out of the water, I kind of gotta own that one.
First appearance of Yelena Belova.
Oh,
I got this at a con for like $40, actually $48, and I was like, for a first appearance. Here's the thing. Since the Thunderbolts movie is coming out and she's like a prominent part of that, that's when you have to like grab these because everyone's gonna be looking for this.
How much? It's probably worth at least a couple, like $100 now.
I'll evaluate it later, but yeah. So I picked this up the last con I was at, and I was like, oh, okay, this is such a pretty.
I'm just gonna say this, Big Daddy.
That was him being Batman. Let's face it.
Yeah, but he did a really honestly, that was his most acting, and I think he did a really good job with that role.
Yeah.
but that issue of X-Men where like the Phoenix Saga where she's like bursting out, that's like a $500 comic though.
Yeah. The other one I would like to get is the first appearance of Red Hood. I imagine you could probably get that. How about for you, Nick? First appearance of Nightwing in the pop collar suit.
I mean, yeah, that's an issue of Teen Titans. That's probably a little bit pricey, but yeah, I definitely, yeah. As much of a Nightwing fan as I am, yeah. Because actually, I eventually want to do collect the full Perez Wolfman run of Teen Titans for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they have all of them in Omnibuy form.
They do. They've actually been releasing the Nightwing run in Omnibuy form. I need to get those. They just released volume 2.
So, you know what's interesting? So I picked up the first volume of Chris Claremont's X-Men Omnibus. There's 5 of these.
Good luck, sir.
Well, he was on the book for 16 years.
Yeah.
But anyway, so going back to Batman, by the way, in the first appearance, people say Batman doesn't kill. Oh, he throws someone in a chemical vat.
Oh, you mean like an 89?
Literally that. I wasn't a big fan in 89. By the way, so Brown says, do you think the Arkham Knight can exist outside the Arkham universe? They brought him into the comics. Obviously, it's not Jason Todd, but they.
To be fair, the Arkham Knight existed before Arkham Knight. It's called Battle for the Cowl.
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of what it is. What do you have there? Oh, okay. They made a part 2 of that.
Yeah, they did. I need to pick it up.
I actually picked up part 2 of that at my store last time. Hang on.
I imagine DC was going through their archives, oh wait, we have this art. We have this art from when he lived. We should do something with it.
And honestly, that's a pretty cool idea. Another character that I would love to get, the first appearance of Black Canary.
Oh god, that's a Golden Age issue. That's gonna set you back, sir. Oh,
actually, this is part 1. It's probably and it's a variant cover, but I mean, not if I go with Dinah and not her mother.
Okay, so that's probably a Silver Age issue then.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, you know what? I am happy that I do have first appearance of Isom and Yaira. I got in the ground floor of that real fast.
Let's see here.
I also want to get the first appearance of Grail. It's a new 52 issue, so that should be like dollars, just dollars. So that one is very realistic for me to pick up.
As a Daredevil fan, I'm not sure because, like, I mean, let's be honest here. The Stan Lee Daredevil run is really not that good. It's basically discount Spider-Man.
I mean, also a lot of books written by Stan Lee were not necessarily that like well written. That they were just fun, maybe.
Well, the thing that made a lot of the Stan Lee issues good is the Marvel method. Is you essentially had the artist writing the books.
Yeah.
And when you had a artist with like for example, I'm going to say this right now. This is going to be a hot take. Steve Ditko is the creator of Spider-Man.
I would say co-creator because when you have because Stan relatively he thought of the idea of a spider character, and Steve also gave the character life. In other words,
but also because of the Marvel method, Ditko was kind of writing a lot of those issues.
That's true. Same way, or is that like Jack Kirby is technically the creator of the Silver Surfer?
Yeah, and then also let's see here. John Romita was writing Daredevil for 6 months, and then they got him onto Spider-Man. Because that's the thing. Like, you don't realize the Steve Ditko issues are great, but it really came to its own during the Romita era. Like, a lot of the stuff we remember from Spider-Man is the Romita era.
Yeah, in the golden age, that there's comics were shown that Bruce Wayne didn't see the bat that night. What would have happened to Bruce Wayne? Ooh, interesting. Well, I think that at least the way
he's a cat. He's a cat.
He becomes Catman, and then he meets Selena Kyle, and they become the cat couple. And then he meets Cat Grant, and then she becomes his Robin.
No. What happens is he hears an owl hooting outside.
Well, actually, kind of interesting. That's Earth 3 Batman's origin. The bat was gonna come in, but then it got killed. Actually, it got killed by an owl. They also I think it's called Batman and Brightest Day, where it's basically Green Lantern with Batman. The bat is coming in, but the Green Lantern ring ship like shows up and scares off the bat.
I always wondered in the universe where he comes to Owlman, how does he deal with the court?
That is a good question. They've never done that. You know what? I really wish they did an ongoing series about the Earth 3 world. Like,
what if Batman was a part of the court?
Yes, or no. What if the court was like the cult of Owlman, and then he like killed them all?
Or what if he wasn't a Talon, but he like led them or something?
That could work. That could work too. As they know, he killed the entire court except for the Talons and says, "You will be my army," and they're his Robins.
Wait. Scorpion King, are you certain that's a rock solid theory?
No, actually, Scorpion King would go on to become Black Adam.
I'm just gonna say the Scorpion King is not a bad movie. It's schlocky as hell, but it's enjoyable.
The part that people point to about that movie is just the Rock CGI.
No, I'm talking about the spin-off movie. They actually did a full Scorpion King movie with The Rock.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
Oh my god, you've never seen it?
No.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's actually kind of it's schlocky but enjoyable. You need to see it, man.
Schlocky but enjoyable. Okay.
It's basically the origin of the Scorpion King, and it's live action, and it's actually got The Rock actually doing warrior stuff. It's oh god. Oh, you need to see it. It's actually it's enjoyable. You never knew they made a Scorpion King movie.
No, I thought everyone was talking about the Mummy movie with that.
I swear, if I had a nickel for every time they made a spin-off of a famous franchise just to appease Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I'd have 2 nickels. But it's weird that it's happened twice.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I'm talking about Scorpion King and Hobbs and Shaw.
There's also a part in Dark Crisis at the very end when Black Adam is like congratulating Superman returning back to life. He gives the Rock eyebrow thing in the art.
The artist couldn't resist themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, and this is around the time Black Adam was coming out, so I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here, Sampair. Brad says, no, I'm not kidding. DC Comics showed us Bruce Wayne would have become the Scorpion. He would have become the Scorpion King?
Universal might have some words.
Is Dwayne The Rock Johnson secretly Bruce Wayne?
Is the hierarchy of the DC universe about to change?
Well, it would be easier for him to change the hierarchy as Batman than Black Adam.
He's a goddamn Scorpion King.
I just love how in the promotion for that movie, he tried to make it where like Black Adam is the most powerful force on Earth. And I'm like, he's not.
Oh, he's a threat. He's definitely a threat.
He's a threat, but he's not the most powerful force on Earth. If anything, Superman is the most powerful force on Earth.
I will say Black Adam does give Superman a run for his money for two reasons.
Magic.
One, Black Adam is near Superman level. Also, his lightning is magic based. And okay, I'm about to preach the quote here, but can we please stop saying Superman has a weakness to magic? He just has no immunity to it.
It's like saying Martian Manhunter is like weak to fire. So is everyone.
So basically, the way it is let's say you have a character that is scratch proof, where like you scratch it and it makes no marks, versus someone who has no immunity. Ow! You scratch him and it makes a mark and it hurts. Mm-hmm. That is Superman. By the way, you can see the marks. I bruise easily.
Don't tell Selena Kyle. She might think you're cheating on her.
God dang you, Jared.
I'm just telling you, dude, you don't want to piss off a Catwoman.
I am going to keep my mouth shut.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty, that's a good point there. Now, let me ask you this, Nick, since it was supposed to be about Batman villains, kind of.
So now you know why I kept my mouth shut.
I just got the joke. Well done, sir. Who's your favorite Batman villain? Like strictly Batman villain.
Okay, there's two answers to this question. There's favorite Batman villain, there's favorite one from a horror perspective.
Okay.
We're gonna try to tie this in.
Yeah, we'll do both.
Favorite Batman villain is probably Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
From a horror perspective, I'd say Mad Hatter.
For me, my answer works in both. Court of Owls. Because when you think about, so for the Court of Owls work because they're a secret organization that Batman doesn't know about. That is very cool. And from horror, they're literally using zombies that hide in your walls.
Well, it's a couple of things that make the court great. Is supposedly owls are the natural predator of bats, so you got that thing. But they're also doing kind of like an Eyes Wide Shut secret society kind of thing.
Like an Illuminati.
Essentially. Are you familiar with the film Eyes Wide Shut?
No.
It's the last Stanley Kubrick film. It has like Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. It deals like with the secret societies. Let me just look up a picture of it, of like the cult scene, and you'll know why I keep like I've said this before. Like I've said this before. Like once you see like the pictures of like the cult stuff, you'll understand why I keep referencing it and why a lot of other people do.
Yeah, that's the Court of Owls right there.
Yeah, this is from Eyes Wide Shut. Like even just look at some of the masks these people wear, you know?
Yep, pretty much that. And they keep trying to adapt the Court of Owls into stuff like with Gotham Knights the game, Gotham Knights the show, or I think they did the best job in the DC AMU with the Batman versus Robin movie in terms of adapting them. But they keep trying. I really hope that they use the Court of Owls in the Reeves verse, because that's the one that's like that's the villain group that is practically tailor-made for that universe.
I feel like they're setting it up. I do. Sorry. The other thing is are you familiar with Bohemian Grove?
No.
Man, you are not very up on your conspiracy theories, sir.
I'm just not old.
Okay, so Bohemian Grove is a retreat for like the rich and powerful, going back years, and they have a ceremony where they burn an owl god called Moloch.
Oh God, I can see where Scott Snyder got the inspiration.
Yeah, so
But the part about the court that really gets to me is because they are the refutation of the he knows everything because he's Batman, because they existed since Gotham's inception and he didn't know it.
what's even worse, they had a lair in Wayne Tower.
Yeah, exactly.
They were in his home.
Practically in his home. Yeah, exactly. And it's like heavily implied that they tried to recruit the Waynes.
And also that Dick Grayson was supposed to become a Talon.
Yeah, exactly. I think the way they like show that is that a Talon recruit has like a mark on their tooth. So what Batman does to show Dick, he just punches him in the mouth and knocks out his tooth and says, "Look."
Also, I love like the new lore for Dick Grayson where he is the Gray Son. Like he's actually kind of like a member, like he's a bastard child of an elite.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates a whole line of like the Gray Sons, and they're all Talons.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do like that because obviously Grayson, it wasn't supposed to be that, but like I like how they split that, and that it works so well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Also, like the Talon suit, I just love it.
Yeah, the Talon suit is the perfect mirror of Batman, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. Which, because the thing is, if I ever do like a Screecher Batman crossover, the court will have to be a part of that story.
I mean, here's the thing: in the Gotham Knight show, they screwed up the Talon.
Didn't they bring the court into Gotham?
I don't know, because I think, when did Gotham end?
Late 2010s.
How late? Because
Okay, yeah, looks like Gotham did do the Court of Owls, and dare I say the masks actually look kind of good.
that's Gotham Knights.
Okay. Yeah, this is Gotham.
Oh,
Looks.
not bad.
This is Gotham Knights, which, as okay, that's pretty comic accurate. I'll give them that.
No, but look up the Talon.
Why are you making me do this?
Gotham Knights Talon. It's number 2.
They just put a bag over someone's head.
Yeah, but I will say I like how in the game the eyes glow. That is terrifying.
I mean, even in the comics, his eyes glow. That's kind of a key part of his design.
Yeah, it is. And the cool part about the Talons is that, by the way, you can unlock in Gotham Knights Talon versions of all 4 of the characters' suits. You can essentially play as Talons.
That's interesting.
Yep,
But
that's
yeah,
some cool
like
stuff in that game.
the eyes lighting up is like a oh yeah, I see it right here. Okay, but yeah, the eyes lighting up is really a core part of the Talon costume, because it's kind of like a fear effect. You just see the eyes in the darkness, and it comes out of the shadows. It's a key horror trope,
Mm-hmm.
like you just see the eyes in the darkness. And then they step out of the shadows and like slowly reveal
Or
themselves.
like Batman when he has the white eyes, which I'm waiting. They kind of adapted it in the Nolan verse. They did it in BVS. I want the DCU Batman suit to have the white eyes. So that way you don't have to say Batman wears eye makeup.
They did it in Snyder as well.
Yeah, I know, with the anti-Superman suit. So I thought Snyder was not comic accurate. I'm just saying.
I thought maybe Snyder's the blueprint.
Could be. I hear he has fantastic opinions on Batman's love life.
I can't wait till when you interview Zack Snyder on your channel, and that topic will come up.
One day, I'll bring that up, and I'll say, "Hey, Zach, how do you feel about Superman and Wonder Woman being together?"
I feel like that might be the one time where Britt's actually in the call with all of us.
She might. She'll be in the chat for sure. And by the way, so people don't all of a sudden get excited. I don't have an interview scheduled with Zack Snyder. Would I like to? Yes.
Yes, but I think you will eventually.
Mm-hmm. Eventually. Get me up to like a higher sub count, and maybe he'll do it.
All right, Jared. Drop the link to your YouTube in the chat. Go ahead. I give you permission.
All right. You wore me down. You wore me down.
Subscribe to Comix League. I mean, I need to subs more than him, but subscribe to this rat bastard.
Yeah, essentially, I'm cannibalizing his audience. Ha
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
There you go. It's in the chat.
But like, what are some of your other favorite like horror-based Batman stories?
Favorite Batman stories? Oh, geez.
Horror-based, like the ones that have the horror angle.
Black Mirror, because the cool part about that's Dick Grayson Batman fighting Jim Gordon's son, who is a serial killer.
Oh man, Jim, if I had no, I'm not doing that joke again.
Honestly, Court of Owls.
Mm-hmm.
Arkham Asylum is fun. It's a little crazy. Then again, it's Grant Morrison. Red Rain's good. The Batman Who Laughs is a good one. Any issue of Tom King's Batman, because that is very horrible. Oh, does Tom King's Wonder Woman count in that case?
All right. Brown is forcing you to tear up your.
What if Marvel made an MCU movie with Hyperion and Wonder Woman's counterparts? Yes.
All right, that's your one Squadron Supreme reference for the stream. You've torn up the card. See, I can actually enforce this because this is my channel.
$1 billion idea, Marvel. Just turn your universe into DC. Because that's literally what this event is. Gwen Stacy becomes basically Batgirl, called Nightbird.
I thought Night Spider.
No, she's not a spider character. Peter Parker becomes Jimmy Olsen.
Okay. Wait. Who becomes Batman in this one?
No. It's Batman is Nighthawk, and he's a congressman. By the way, that's Night Gwen.
Oh, wouldn't it be crazy if Norman Osborn became the Batman character, and then Gwen, who is a Batgirl character? You know,
they have the version of the Red Skull in this universe is named the Black Skull,
and then they have like relations together. It would.
Well, I got news for you. Superman and Wonder Woman are a couple in this as well.
Also, Jared, do you not realize what I just did?
No, I do not.
I just recreated Sins Past in DC. I had to read that.
By the way, the Hyperion, Power Princess, and Nighthawk are known as the Big Three.
Oh God!
And you know what they do? So the Wizard, who's basically their version of the Flash, he had the One More Day storyline. They actually referenced that.
Wait, the combined Flashpoint One More Day.
Okay, I'm gonna show you this. I gotta show you this because this is like, this is egregious. I read this and I'm like, they better not be referencing what I think they're referencing. Here, I'm trying to find it.
Oh God, I do love that Kyle Higgins threw in that dig at One More Day. Like that was chef's kiss.
No, you mean Jonathan Hickman.
Jonathan Hickman. Sorry, I get my Johns mixed up.
That's what happens with elderly people.
All right, you're reaching your quota.
I know. I'm done. I promise.
Okay. But yeah, I love that he put that in there. That was a nice little dig. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry,
day, Nick.
The word choice was too awkward to not be deliberate.
There's no, and you're writing a Spider-Man book. There's no way you are not doing that.
You're writing a Spider-Man book where Peter is happily married with children. The literal antithesis of One More Day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to find this because there is an issue where they do. Here we go. It's called One Moment in Time.
All right, let me get. There you go. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Get the frick out of here!
It's
Get
called
the crap out of
One
here.
Moment in Time.
They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Oh, that is a horrible comic.
Yeah, but it's great. It's great. This is this is what they should be making. Make a movie on Heroes Reborn and to basically cast the Snyderverse
Here,
actors.
notice how Marvel is always doing these shameless DC ripoffs, but you don't really see DC doing it that often.
Because DC has original ideas. But so you know what else they do? The death of Gwen Stacy is actually the death of Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson was Nighthawk's Robin.
Wow.
So that is actually kind of I do like how they like because what they're by the way Luke
instead of Robin, he's Falcon. They just call him Falcon.
No, he is. Luke Cage is the Commissioner Gordon.
Okay. All right. Okay, keep going. I want to hear these.
Deadpool is the Harley Quinn.
Why does that make so much
That makes
sense?
so much sense. The Thunderbolts are the Suicide Squad run by Wilson Fisk because DC has class. Yes, exactly. Except with this version of the Suicide Squad, their memories are wiped after every operation.
Oh.
Weapon X is Alpha Flight. So it's kind of cool.
Wait, Alpha Flight is a Marvel thing.
Yeah. So Wolverine dips his claws in magic and kills Hyperion. That's their death of Superman. So Hyperion comes back, obviously, but Wolverine has a healing factor. So you're wondering, how are they going to kill Wolverine? They take him to the moon and leave him there. In space.
Huh.
It is really, really, really good. The Young Squadron are basically the Teen Titans, which is like Kamala Khan as Wonder Girl.
Okay. Wait, the young team. I want to hear who else is in there.
All right, so there is. Okay, so
is Kate Bishop Arsenal?
No, she's not. Nova is essentially Kid Green Lantern. There's no like special like. He's basically Kid Spectrum, and then Miles Morales becomes another Falcon.
I thought they would have made him like a Blue Beetle type.
They should have, but that's the thing.
It's like
Deadpool is like tells them, you know, the Squadron Supreme aren't like these big heroes that you think they are. They're kind of evil-ish.
Evil-ish.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so and in this universe, Aunt May was killed in the Aunt May is the Uncle Ben death. She died in the aftermath of a superhero fight between Hyperion because Hyperion threw a sign and the sign missed and went into the store that Aunt May was in, so she died. And then he gets infected with these bugs and becomes Shatterbug.
Okay.
That's how he becomes that. So that's what I love about Heroes Reborn. They're basically improving Marvel by turning into DC. That's pretty much what it is. And yeah, and then the Squadron Supreme end up staying in the main Marvel universe, and no one has referenced them yet.
One of these days we need to cover Stan Lee Presents, where Stan Lee just redoes all the DC characters, but Stan Lee does it.
Yeah. By the way, there is a thing where Hyperion and Spider-Man meet after it's been undone, and then Hyperion and Spider-Man goes, "Oh, you're one of those new Squadron Supreme guys. You're okay." And then Hyperion says, "Thanks. You remind me of a friend of mine." Because he was Jimmy Olsen. Oh, Scarlet Witch is the Blur's like arch nemesis. She can use magic to go super fast, and she has a vendetta against Blur because he killed Quicksilver.
You could say she's quite the reverse.
Yes, exactly. Thanos essentially has like has the Infinity Rings.
Yeah. I could have called that one.
And Scarlet Witch is called the Silver Witch because of the silver, because of the silver. What's the word? Oh,
Silver
and
Surfer.
Quicksilver. Quicksilver.
Okay.
And then Doctor Doom basically it takes the like a Juggernaut thing and becomes a Juggernaut called Doctor Juggernaut. He's Hyperion's villain. Odin merges with Gog and becomes All Gog, and he fights Wonder Woman. Black Skull is the Red Skull, but Black Skull is the Red Skull, but he got a symbiote. And the civil war in this universe is Nighthawk got the symbiote, so in other words, Batman got the Venom symbiote and wouldn't let it go.
So, Jared, what if in the Thunderbolts movie, because they have they unveiled the actor who's playing Sentry?
I think they did.
God dang it! That. All right, toss the next. All right, the next 5 minutes we're just throwing out the window. Because I had a whole discussion, but that.
And then, by the way, this was Watchmen before Watchmen, the Mark Gruenwald Squadron Supreme series. So you could say, I'm gonna say this: Watchmen is a ripoff of Marvel.
Did it come out before?
Yes, it did.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
I believe so. So let me see here. When did Watchmen come out?
Like late 80s.
This came out in, I think, 85. Let me see here. Mark Grunwald, Squadron Supreme. And by the way, Mark Grunwald did this series because he was a big Justice League fan.
86 to 87 for Watchmen.
Okay, so this one would be Squadron Supreme. Let me do Squadron Supreme #1. This is the trade paperback.
But would it be interesting? Let's just pretend where it's revealed that Sentry is no. What it is it's like a scrawny little kid, and when he puts on the Sentry belt, he becomes Henry Cavill.
I mean, he does have alternate like personalities. 85 is Squadron Supreme.
So yeah, they date it by about a year or so.
Suck it, Alan Moore.
I mean, Alan Moore is a bit of a hack. Have you seen some of the stuff he's been recently saying?
Let me put it this way, and this is what I say because Tom King wants to be the next Alan Moore, and I say, listen, dude, Alan Moore does not want to be the next Alan Moore.
Yeah.
But the cool part about this is that the Squadron Supreme have to so they regain the trust of their world after they were mind controlled by basically Darkseid. So what they do, they want to make a utopia. So they ban guns and they try and take away guns. They basically form it into a dystopian nightmare. And Batman travels to the Marvel universe, grabs Captain America and says, "Help me, I can't fight these people." And Batman is the president of the United States in this.
Like literally Batman.
Nighthawk, but you know what I'm saying here.
Okay.
Oh, and then when they did a Squadron series more recently, that's when they had Hyperion chop off Namor's head. So I particularly love that series.
You know what would be an interesting meeting? Lex Luthor, Norman Osborn.
Particularly Norman Osborn that was like Iron Patriot and had like the Dark Avengers and all that. Yeah, that would be dope. I would love that. But if people forget, don't know, is that the Iron Patriot armor for Iron Man 3, that was Norman Osborn's Iron Man armor.
Yeah, they in the movies they turned it into like a remodeled War Machine armor,
and that's why they lose it. I mean, and that's why they waste stuff. British people from the 70s generation are crazy as F hippie. Alan Moore is exactly that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, some of those comic creators are still pretty cool, but Alan Moore, he was good in the 80s. I want to say stuff, but that might be going a little bit too far beyond our stated goal. So
I mean, he did have a pretty good Superman story. It's the one where it's the Black Mercy episode. What do you get for the man who has everything? And then it's the issue where Superman kisses Wonder Woman.
I mean, the Black Mercy, that's just based off an old comic he did.
Mm-hmm. And technically, he invented the prophecy of Blackest Night.
How? Explain, sir.
In an earlier story, because I think he wrote a Green Lantern story at one point, and it said, and it basically talked about there is a prophecy of Blackest Night where I'm not sure if it was the dead shall rise again, but I think it was like a Blackest Night thing. And I know he did create Black Hand, so there is that.
I wouldn't be surprised. The guy, the guy was once good. Okay, I think we can acknowledge.
Yeah,
he was once a very talented writer, and I would even make the claim he's probably one of the most important writers for the history of comics.
Yeah. Because whether or not you Watchmen is a ripoff, what it actually did is it helped to mainstreamize comics. Because when it shows up in like Rolling Stones and it's known as like one of the like American novels, if you will, that means something to people.
Yeah, there's a reason why Watchmen has never not been out of print.
You mean when Watchmen has never not been in print?
It's always been in print for like 30, 40 years.
Ever since its inception.
There's never been a time where you can't go down to a mainstream bookstore or like any store that has like, oh yeah, we have comics, we have graphic novels, and they have like one shelf and it's like half a shelf. Watchmen is always there.
Yep. And there's always like multiple versions of Watchmen. There's the hardcover. There's the one that comes with the movie. There's like a larger collection edition. I actually have a book. They made a D&D game around Watchmen.
To me, the most common version that I see is a paperback with the smiley face. That's the most common version that I see.
I think that's the one I have. Hang on. We should cover Watchmen at one point.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't already. Yeah, that's the most common version I see.
On HBO Max, they actually have a motion comic version, like they voice everything out.
Is it done with the Snyder actors?
I don't think so, but it's kind of funny. That's what convinced a lot of Snyder fans that Zack could do like really big comic book movies, because that book was notoriously hard to adapt. And according to at least the artist of Watchmen, he nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, Dave Gibbons is definitely the more approachable. Like, if you're going to ever interview someone from Watchmen, it's going to be Dave Gibbons. Like, I could see you getting Dave Gibbons one of these days.
Yeah, he seems like a really chill dude. I'd love to talk to Dave Gibbons, because he's done a lot of other stuff as well.
Yeah, like for The Man Who Has Everything, he did the art for that. Like we don't realize just how kind of similar it was. That was Alan Moore writing, Dave Gibbons drawing, and Julius Schwartz was editing it. That was actually one of the last editing jobs that Julius Schwartz did.
I remember Julie Schwartz basically led to the creation of Barry Allen and Hal Jordan. So.
Oh, more than that, Julie Schwartz started the Silver Age.
Justice League. In the same way as Stan Lee created the Marvel Age of comics, Julie Schwartz did basically that for DC.
No, the Silver Age is Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
Because like all of the Marvel stuff originally was part of the Silver Age. Like Silver Age is essentially the 60s.
Yeah.
I love how the 50s is just like a black hole for comics. Like comics were happening, but it was just kind of like.
Well, and the other thing is, like, even before that in the 40s, the reason why these Golden Age books are so expensive is because in addition to rarity, you also had the burnings that were happening around that time period, which made the scarcity like severe.
Well, it was a couple of things. Like you said, paper was used for the war effort.
Well, not only that, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about after like Seduction of the Innocent came out, people were like burning comic books.
That was more 50. That was about 55. That was a little bit afterwards.
Okay.
The other thing is, like, how many old timers do you say like, oh yeah, I had Action Comics #1 and my dad threw it away? Like that happened to so many kids in the days. Like they throw away their comics eventually because they were disposable media.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they're so rare is a combination of things.
Mm-hmm. And Brown, there is a chance that I could get Zach on there because he comes on very small channels as well. So there is a chance. You gotta believe, my friend. And what's more, I've been called the best pro Snyder channel on YouTube. So
I mean, honestly, Jared, all it's gonna take is, let's say you meet him at a convention, you say, like, I imagine if you met him, he's like, "Oh, I'd love to have you on my channel." It's like, "Hey, leave your details," and he goes, sees your channel, he sees how pro, and then you get an email from his publicist saying, "Zach would like to appear on your channel."
Oh, you better believe I'm giving him a Comics League card if I see him. I'm bringing those to all my things, and I'm like, Zack Snyder, it's Zack Snyder. Give me a card. Give me a card. Here. My hand's shaking.
Yeah, and that's just, I could just imagine, like, you get that email from his assistant or something, and just your heart just goes
And then
out of
I'm
your
like,
chest.
and then I immediately post in like the league chat. All of you are being on this show.
Yes.
Cancel your plans, ladies and gents. Cancel your plans.
I was gonna go on a date with Michelle Pfeiffer, but Zack Snyder's calling.
Nope. This is way more important.
It's more important than Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yes, it is.
She said she was gonna wear the Catwoman suit.
It's better that way.
I love how you actually pause. Like, you actually pause. Like,
I had to do that because I was like, no, the pause was, I was thinking, can I make that joke? Yes, I can. Okay, good. There you go.
So Zack Snyder is even more important than Michelle Pfeiffer in the Catwoman suit.
Yes.
All right. But yeah, that would be a good day. That would be a very, very good day. Oh God. But so yeah, Batman has a history in horror. All of his stuff always kind of has like this horror tinge to it. I definitely think that's part of his appeal. And like, even when you get him in a more lighthearted role, like even the Adam West stuff, they still couldn't stamp out all the horror in that part, you know.
Yeah, they definitely can, and because when you're dealing with like a villain named Two-Face, it's kind of hard
Two-Face?
to make.
What's Two-Face in the West version?
Adam West? Was he?
I was actually watching a documentary of Batman in like the 60s or something, and they talked about how they were able to bring back Two-Face because of the West show, but that was like later on.
Actually, I don't think he was in there.
See, the problem is a lot of the villains that we know that are iconic are from like the 40s and the 50s run, but there was like a 10-year stretch of period in like late 50s to like late 60s where they were not in the comics at all because of the Comics Code Authority. But because of the West show, they were able to bring a lot of them back into the comics. Okay. See, my first instinct is Batcat, but I'm gonna go with Bat Canary.
We keep our masks on. It's better that way.
Jared knew exactly what I was doing.
Yeah, but Batcat, honestly, because they both fight for Gotham. They both are like shaped by Gotham, so they both kind of understand each other. Or when she's not being assassinated by Grant Morrison, Talia.
I'm honestly like Vicky Vale's not a bad choice. How weird is it that Vicky Vale is essentially a Lois Lane ripoff, but she's a better character?
Someone made that comment. It's like, look at Lois Lane, Iris freaking West, and she's a better character, a more delightful character than Lois. And I'm like, because you know why? They don't try and they don't try and push Vicky Vale as much as they do Lois or like Iris West. They just let the character be their own thing. No one's giving Iris West, unless she's in the CW show, superpowers.
Yeah.
What about
Brown's choosing violence.
Yeah, who cares about that annoying shrew?
Brown, that's lame.
I swear, Nick, there was like in the Super Wonder stream that Britt and I did, someone it kept making up like horror movies that feature Lois Lane, but she would be excluded from because she's already naturally horrible.
please tell me in your universe there is an annoying reporter that is basically just Lois Lane.
In my movie universe, there will be.
No, in
Okay,
your
so
comic
one of the
universe,
universes,
in your comics.
yeah. So one of the movies, the horror ideas that like someone had. I'm trying to put. Okay, taking place in the future, an army of evil Lois clones have taken over the Earth. They're driven the heroes to madness by constantly pressing them about getting an interview.
Army of the Lame.
Or Days of Future Lame. And then Emperor. So here's another one. Takes place in hell. A demon is having nightmares about Lois. The other demons convince him that Lois isn't real, but she suddenly starts appearing in his room at night.
Oh god.
Just mention Lois, Jared.
Oh, sorry.
Goddamn right, silly girl.
No. Now I'm thinking of lame, like Lois Lame horror movie pun parodies.
Night of the Living Loises. Army of the Lames. Lois Lane should be
Lame Razor. Lame Razor.
Ooh, that works.
Friday the Lame.
I'm telling you, Lois Trevor. Just put the two useless characters together and you got a good book.
Also, is Superman Zatanna, is that just super magic?
Yeah.
It's a
We keep our tights on. It's better this way.
Also, no. So you know how Constantine is Hellblazer?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna create a ship right now, Jerry. You're gonna love this. So Lois Lame and Constantine is Lame Blazer. It's a thing now. It is canon. It is canon.
As Lord of Comics. Wait.
And silly girl. Silly.
I now decree, as Lord of Comics, that what's the name again?
Lame Razor.
That Lame Razor is now that Lame Laser, whatever, is now an official ship of DC. It is decreed on the 28th of October in the year of our Lord.
God. It has been decreed. The king has made it official.
How about Lois Lane with Plastic Man? It happens to 1 in 5 men.
That's literally the name of the ship.
Yeah, exactly.
No. That's a very limp-wristed ship, Jared. Not even Plastic Man could make that one stretch.
I wonder how flexible Lois can be.
No, Jared, you didn't hear what I said.
No,
Not even Plastic Man could make that one stretch.
To quote Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four movie, he did seem kind of limp.
I can't believe they got away with that one in a PG-13.
I know. Well, they never dropped an F-bomb, and that's all they care about. So there you go.
No, what I love about the scene is it's so implied. Is stretch any part of his body, and they have the girls all go woo, just to really hammer it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone who's under 12 years old, they don't get the joke, but everyone who's above 12 years old just gets it. Oh god, I love that movie. I'm just gonna say it. Fantastic Four 2005 is a good movie. Anyone else who says otherwise is wrong.
I guess you can kind of say that.
Oh, let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, Jared, I have an idea.
Okay.
Lois Whedon's Justice League. I win! I just won! I win!
I can't even top that. There's no way I could top that. Oh, God. I can't even top that. My God, dude. I have a better ship for Lois Lane. Lois Lane and Arm Fall Off Man. Yes, that is a character. His name is
He just sees him, his arms fall off.
Yeah, exactly.
Grow those back.
If she were, I could imagine if she were in the first Power Rangers episode, they would go, Alpha, bring me a teenager with attitude, but not that much attitude.
No.
No,
Jared,
Nick, I got it. Rita creates a monster, but it's just Lois.
Alpha, Rita's escaped. Bring me the lamest teenager you can think of. And he summons Lois.
Or it's like Fenster is like sculpting something, but he gets distracted and just makes Lois.
And then Rita walks in like, Finster, this is the lamest creation you've ever made.
That's so what I would do. Oh my gosh. If I ever take over DC, there's going to be so many Lois Lame jokes. Mostly from Hal Jordan.
No. Hal Jordan's like, hey, Lois, I got you a donkey. But this one's lame. So it's perfect for you.
There's going to be, if I ever take over DC, Lois is going to vanish from the books real fast.
You're going to banish her to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, I'm going to reveal that she's actually a multiversal villain that's designed to pacify Kryptonians. There you go. I just made Lois a villain.
No, I got it for you. So Superman starts. Wonder Woman. So Lois cheats on Superman, and so he breaks up with her. He starts dating a real woman, a wonderful woman, if you would, and she gets so pissed off she actually starts colluding with Darkseid, and she actually becomes one of the heralds of Darkseid. And
there's no heralds of Darkseid.
Comes one of his generals. She gets like abilities or whatever.
Why would she become a general of Darkseid?
Because of my story and Frick You.
Why would Darkseid respect Lois that much is what I'm really trying to figure out here.
Dude, I'm trying to cook here.
Yeah, but you're cooking with sand, sir. You're cooking with sand.
Well, I'm the Sandman. Pocket sand. Pocket sand.
I didn't know you were battling Anakin Skywalker.
See, this is okay. Tangent aside, this is why Dale Gribble will beat Anakin Skywalker every time. Pocket sand!
Or, you know what's the one Spider-Man villain that could defeat Anakin Skywalker? Sandman!
Yeah.
Oh, Sand, my one weakness.
Oh God, imagine if they actually did a Marvel Star Wars crossover, and Sandman is the one that defeats Darth Vader.
Yeah, or it's like they take place in the prequel era, and then it's Anakin and Obi-Wan are like fighting Spider-Man villains. Then Sandman shows up, and then Obi-Wan goes, "Well, Anakin, he's all yours."
No, Anakin just says, "I hate sand."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Can I just say I love the Star Wars Celebration interview with Hayden Christensen, where they like, "What's Anakin's deal?" It's like, well, he hates. What's his saying? Like, well, it's coarse. He just goes through the whole line. I love how Hayden Christensen just embraced it.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, seriously, before Clark came to Metropolis, Lois Lane was dating Lex Luthor. Yes, let her date Lex, and Superman should... No, Brown, Superman should be with Wonder Woman. We've established that. So you're half right.
No. Here it is. Well, Zatanna is his rebound.
No, Wonder Woman. But anyway,
then he gets Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but the other thing is like then you find out Lois Lane actually is in league with Megatron, and then it becomes the ship Logatron.
What? No, it becomes Lamatron.
I gotta be clear. Someone put that in my chat as actually I think it was Brown Logatron.
It's Lamatron.
No, but here's the thing with a character named Megatron, having it called Logatron actually works. It works.
All right.
It's the pun, Nick. It's the pun. You of all people should appreciate the value, the power of a pun. You have pun powers.
So did you know that one time the Spark of Leadership for some reason chose Lois Lane, and her
Why
name
would the Matrix of Leadership choose Lois?
No. And it instantly regretted the decision, but it was forced in the choice. So her character became Lotimus Lame.
That's a bad one. It's not even a joke there. I'm gonna have to recover from that one.
Oh, screw you. Okay. Okay, what villain, straight out villain, should Lois marry?
Joker.
Not Lex Luthor.
She becomes the new Harley Quinn. No, she already is. It's like Joker's like, it's essentially Joker's like, you're just as psycho as me.
By the way, I have her new Joker name. Her name is Byline.
That actually works. That actually works. I swear, Nick, if we ever take over DC, we're going to go, oh, if someone asks me about Lois and like a Q&A, I'm going to go, oh, we got plans for that bitch. We got plans for her.
So basically Joker kidnaps Lois and he turns her into like, he Jokerizes her and she's Byline. And as Byline is fighting Superman, she says some really nasty things. And it's like after the story's over, and like she's like, I'm really sorry. Like, Lois, you said some stuff there. I can never forget. I don't think we can be together. I know this was a Joker stuff. No, let me. And he's like, but that's the stuff that you've been harboring inside of you. That stuff didn't just come from nowhere. If you actually feel that way, I don't think we can be together. And he flies away and goes with the mascara.
So Joker throws her in the vat of acid that's designed to Jokerize her, but it doesn't work because she's been Jokerized this entire time. And then the title of the story is The Lame Joke. Like the Killing Joke.
No. It's One Bad Headline.
That's better. That is so better. All the Spider-Man fans are like, oh no.
Also, it's a fan of like One Bad Day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was gonna do one more headline, but that was too on the nose. So
and then I would have Superman go. I just wish we had one more day.
If I saw that on a script, I would have words with the writer. Oh wait, I'm the writer.
Then I know. And if you're my editor, Nick, I'm gonna make a script that's just one more day 80 times.
And then I walk into your office and I burn the script right in front of you.
And I go, worth it.
Well, now the building's on fire, so I hope it was I hope it was worth it, Sarah.
Yeah, it was.
I chained you to your chair. You're dying in this fire.
Yeah, but essentially, what I would constantly have Lois Lane tripping, like she would become the clumsy Clark, and then eventually we give her the Injustice Nightwing death, except without someone throwing something at her head. She just trips and falls, hits a rock.
Oh, God. You would so do that. I could see you, like, they bring you in, and you write that in your script, and the editor's like, Jared, I know you hate Lois, but we can't do this.
No, but I would go, in my defense, you hired me knowing that I would do this. So if you didn't want me to do this, why did you hire me?
Okay, Brown, I will give you that. Amy Adams did do a good job.
Again, I like movie and TV Lois. I loathe comic Lois.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. As much of a Smallville defender as I am, I found Erica Duras' Lois annoying.
She was. She definitely was.
But the actress herself, I've seen her in interviews. She seems like a perfectly nice person, you know. So I have no hate against the actress, but the character. Yeah,
that's the one I like the least, honestly, of the ones. And I haven't seen Lois and Clark.
I would say Terry Hatcher is not a bad Lois.
I haven't seen it in decades. To determine.
I haven't watched that show in like 20 years, so
my problem with that show is that it perpetuates the stupid thing about Superman is what I can do. Clark Kent is who I am. Superman is what I can do, because they literally say that in the show, and I'm like, okay, a-holes.
It's kind of like a reverse Batman if you think about it.
Yeah, but it's not good because that's ignoring his Kryptonian heritage, and it's oddly xenophobic, actually.
I do like the Reeves version, the explanation why he's Clark Kent. Because Martin Brandon's like, oh, people would bother you all the time. You need to live a normal life.
Yeah, that works. But you're still ultimately Superman or Kal-El, but you're also being Clark Kent, so you can like move around and hide. That works. But saying, nah, Clark Kent is who I am, Superman is what I can do. I'm like, no.
See, I do think the Batman mythos makes it a little bit lopsided, where Batman is his identity, Bruce Wayne is his mask. But I like the balance of Superman, where Superman and Clark Kent are one and the same, essentially. Mm-hmm. And I do like how they actually give equal importance to both Clark Kent and Superman. because Clark Kent allows him to live a normal life, allows him to live among humans. Like they make it so that Clark Kent is equally as important as Superman.
Brown Destroyer has the greatest comment. Terry Hatcher was the worst Lois Lane in my opinion. She is actually the most comic accurate Lois. Ha!
When Terry Hatcher's version married Superman, she really became a desperate housewife.
Well, not only that, she married Superman, and then Superman in the comics died. I think that's a bad sign.
I think. Oh, so did you know that they actually wanted to time the marriage of Lois and Clark in the comics with the TV show?
Yeah. So what happened was, and Britt told me this the story. It's really crazy. So they were doing. So they had this entire year of stories planned, but then they found out that the DC like heads found out that they were going to marry Lois and Clark in the show. I hate Restream. So they went to the editorial summit and said, okay, throw out all that. You then have to marry Superman. So what happened was Superman. So they did the marriage, but it tanked sales, like it tanked the ratings of the show. And then they decided, let's just kill him.
Well, no, this is late 90s when they got married.
No, yeah, and they died, and he died in the comics after that.
No, Death Superman was like around 94.
I'm pretty certain they were married before he died.
All right, let's look this up. When did it? All right. All right. The first time was actually 1978. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So did you know that in the original run of Superman, like I'm talking like Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, they actually originally planned for Lois Lane to figure out his identity and for them to marry?
Actually, no, that's not actually true. They didn't want Superman to end up with Lois.
Oh, so the one we're talking about was in 1996.
Yeah.
And we're talking the Death Superman run. I believe that was 94. Oh, 93. So, yeah, they married 3 years after the Death Superman.
Okay, well, okay, so hang on. Did they get married in the show first?
I think it was meant to coincide around the same time because Death of Superman was at the height of the comic boom. You know, that was like 90, like. And the thing is, Lois and Clark was like mid to late 90s. So, like, people don't realize comic books in the 90s are literally two different eras split down the middle. Like, the comics you're getting in 98 are totally different from the comics you're getting in 93.
Mm-hmm.
Like, night and day. Like, drastically different. I think the comic boom was mostly, like, very late 80s up until like 93, 95 or something. I think it was the end of the comic boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hardcore Bunny. That is often the case.
Unless, of course, it's with Wonder Woman. We have comics where that ended up pretty well.
I will say this, though. The one marriage that they don't seem to break up is Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
I haven't seen them in a while. I've seen Luke Cage. I haven't seen Jessica Jones, though.
Well, the thing is, Jessica Jones, she eventually had like a baby. She kind of became like the Avengers mom.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, like that's definitely a couple that is iconic, like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually do think this show did a really good job portraying them.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that Jessica Ritter is going to appear in the new Daredevil season?
Oh, that would actually be interesting. I wonder if Luke Cage is also going to show up and maybe they can actually do the thing.
Yeah, and they had a kid together. Yeah, the problem with Jessica Jones is she has one storyline, and they've never really been able to do anything more with her beyond that. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
Jared?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hardcore. They did marry Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. That was classic Marvel, I think. I want to say.
No, I think that was like 2000s.
Okay, that may have been because I know He Who Must Not Be Named was writing all the Avengers books, and he wanted to like do that.
I'm gonna agree with you, Brown Destroyer.
We'll see how she
think
portrays the character.
Especially for like the type of Superman story he's trying to do, which he's trying to do like a classic like Reeves era-esque kind of thing. The cast of woman from Marvelous Miss Maisel was like a 40s, 50s send up. I think for that era, I think that the actress could probably pull it off.
I think so.
Also, Jared, Margot Kidder was a great Lois Lane.
Okay.
Oh,
fact, did you know if they got more movies, they were going to break up Superman and Lois?
And bring in Linda Carter.
So when people whenever people bring up that like that was the definitive Superman and Lois, I'm like, yeah, but they were going to break them up.
I mean, they never really got together. I mean, they got together in Superman 2.
And then here's Superman. So he was finally dating Lois, and he was like, "Oh crap, I made an enormous mistake. Mind wipe kiss."
And I love. Well, the thing is, they kind of showed that the mind wipes don't really last. Because the reason she's
hardcore, it is modern Marvel. It's post 2000s Marvel that married Jessica Jones and Luke Cage.
Yeah. So the reason she's not in the part 3 is because of contract disputes. That's why they brought in Martha Kent. And then the 4th movie, they're not really together in the 4th movie. They're not, so like they're friends. So there's nothing really to break up. If they did a 5th movie, there's not really anything to break up.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, I could see Jared if he time traveled back to like 92 and
I would say, for the love of God, make this movie. Trust me, it will make my show later very easy.
No, Jared gets into his DeLorean, he goes back to 92, and he's like,
and by the way, Brown Destroyer, that's not correct. It's not Morena Baccarin, although she could make a good Selena Kyle. It was supposed to be Carla Gugino. At least that's according to Zack Snyder.
Which, to be fair, Carla Gugino is kind of Zack Snyder's girl. She was in Sucker Punch as the psychologist, and she was Silk Spectre 1. So it actually makes a lot of sense to cast her. For one,
plus, she would make a great Selena Kyle beside Ben Affleck.
Yeah, because as an older Catwoman, who's like semi-retired, she works for that version. Plus. She's worked with Zack Snyder multiple times, so I could definitely see her him casting her. Superman Returns is technically Superman 3, actually, because they do a thing where 3 and 4 don't exist.
So in other words, it's like the fan base like to attend. Oh, so Brandon Routh's Superman has killed.
Yes.
He crushed Zod's hand with a big smile on his face and punched him into a wall.
Oh God, we need to review Superman 2 on movie night one of these times.
I thought we did.
I think we've done the first movie, but I'm not sure about the second movie.
Oh, if we do the second movie, I'm gonna go. So this Superman killed, and if you say the Donner cut corrects, I'm like, the Donner cut's not canon. Because when the Snyder cut is canon, it's because subsequent movies reference it. That's why.
All right. So on that very Snyderific note, we're going to wrap this up. Jared, what do you got going on? What can people look forward to? And where can people find you for lots of lame rants?
So tomorrow, speaking of lame, tomorrow I'm going on to Ladia's channel to talk about Superman and Lois. We're going to react to the new episode. Wednesday, I'm releasing my review of Absolute Wonder Woman. Friday, I may be collabing with Sel Abdul. I'll update you guys on that later. And for Super Wonder Legacy, Britt and I are going to be discussing, we're going to be discussing the gaming history of Superman and Wonder Woman and how we would make a Superman and Wonder Woman game. And And in terms of, I haven't picked a movie yet for what. Movie night is gonna be Batman: Assault on Arkham.
All right.
And that's actually, and gaming stream this week is going to be again Lego Batman 3. And then in terms of Under Two Capes, we're going to be again talking about Batman versus Superman, but if it was Michael Keaton or Christopher Reeve.
Yes. So for me, tomorrow gonna be playing some more Chrono Trigger. Gonna be pretty heckin' awesome.
I feel triggered.
Okay. Thursday, I'm actually doing a Halloween stream. I'll be playing some Night Trap, the game that is almost as old as I am.
So it's made on a rock?
You could say that. Friday, we'll be talking about Digimon. This handsome gentleman will be there with us, showing our love for the digital monsters. And then Saturday, we are continuing with Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
All right, so thank you everyone for joining us. I had a really good time. Jared, screw you and your ships. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, screw Lois Lane. That's all I can say.
Hopefully you be safe. I was trying to figure out a way to say that and not but whatever. Anyway, take care, everyone. Remember, I can only show you the door.